A cruise can look perfect on Instagram, but one small mistake can turn it into a nightmare. One delay, one forgotten document, one bad decision, and suddenly you're watching your ship sail away without you. People have missed departures, lost thousands of dollars in surprise fees, even ended up stuck in a foreign country trying to fix a simple error. And the worst part? Most of it was avoidable. These are 15 cruise mistakes most people don't realize they're making until it's too late. After years of watching cruise horror stories unfold, I can tell you this. Mistake number 1 happens before you even step on the ship. Number 15? Flying in on the same day as your cruise. Flying in on the same day your cruise departs sounds smart. It saves a hotel night. It feels efficient. And on paper, that early 6 a.m. flight looks perfectly safe. But this is one of the riskiest decisions you can make before a cruise. Airlines delay flights every single day. Weather shifts, crews time out, connections get missed. And it doesn't take a full cancellation to ruin everything. Just a 2-hour delay can trigger a chain reaction you can't fix. Cruise ships don't wait for late passengers. They leave on schedule. And if you're not there, you're standing at the dock watching your vacation sail away without you. No refund, no sympathy. Just stress and a very expensive mistake. Arriving the day before gives you breathing room, peace of mind, a buffer against chaos. And that's not the only way flights can sabotage your cruise. Number 14. Booking an early flight home on disembarkation day. Booking an early flight home on disembarkation day feels like a power move. The itinerary says the ship arrives at 7 a.m., so grabbing a 9 a.m. flight sounds totally doable. But here's the myth. Arrival time is not exit time. Just because the ship docks doesn't mean you're walking off immediately. There's customs clearance, there's staggered disembarkation, thousands of passengers lining up for elevators, luggage, and transportation. Then comes traffic at the port, long security lines at the airport, bag check cutoffs. One small delay, and suddenly you're sprinting through a terminal with zero margin for error. That relaxing cruise vibe disappears fast. I've seen so many travelers end their vacation stressed, sweaty, and praying their gate hasn't closed. Saving a few hours isn't worth risking your flight or paying change fees. A noon or later departure gives you breathing room and a much calmer exit. Even if your flights are perfect, paperwork can stop everything. Number 13. Bringing the wrong travel documents. Bringing the wrong travel documents is one of the fastest ways to end a cruise before it even begins. A lot of travelers get confused about passport versus birth certificate rules. Yes, some closed-loop cruises allow U.S. citizens to sail with a state-issued ID and an original birth certificate. But original is the key word. A photocopy won't work. A hospital souvenir certificate won't work either. Every week, people show up at the terminal thinking they're fine until they're not. Names don't match exactly. Documents are damaged. Someone grabbed the wrong envelope in a rush. And cruise lines don't bend the rules at check-in. If the paperwork isn't correct, boarding is denied. It doesn't matter how excited you are or how long you've planned the trip. It sounds simple, but it's a mistake that keeps happening. Double-check requirements for your specific sailing before you leave home. And sometimes people do bring a passport, but still mess it up. Number 12. Traveling with an expired or almost expired passport. Honestly, this is one of those mistakes that really catches people off guard. You might glance at the expiration date and think, well, it's still valid for my cruise. But here's what many travelers don't realize. A lot of countries require your passport to be valid for at least 6 months beyond your travel dates. And that's not 6 months from today. It's 6 months from when your trip actually ends. So, if your cruise returns in July and your passport expires in September, that could definitely be a problem. Some destinations enforce this rule very strictly, while others depend on specific visa agreements. Either way, cruise lines follow international entry requirements, and they just won't risk letting you board if there's any chance you'll be denied entry later. It's a super frustrating mistake because everything else can be perfectly planned. Flights booked, excursions reserved, bags packed. But even with the right documents, packing mistakes can still come back to haunt you. Number 11. Packing important items in checked luggage. Handing your suitcase to the porter really does feel great. No dragging heavy bags around the ship, no waiting in lines. But here's the mistake. putting important items inside that checked luggage. Things like your medication, passports, travel documents, even just a change of clothes. What a lot of first-time cruisers don't realize is that your bags don't magically appear in your cabin the moment you board. It can actually take hours, sometimes until late afternoon. That means if your prescription is inside that suitcase, well, you're stuck waiting. If your swimsuit is packed away, you can't hit the pool. And if, for any reason, there's a delay with your luggage, you're in an even tougher spot. Personally, I always carry a small backpack with essentials: documents, medication, valuables, and honestly, anything I'd panic without. It's simple, but it really does save a lot of stress. And believe it or not, your phone can also betray you if you're not careful. Number 10. Forgetting airplane mode. Forgetting to switch your phone to airplane mode might sound minor, until you see the bill. Cruise ships don't use regular cell towers. When you're at sea, your phone can connect to a maritime network that's not part of your normal carrier plan. And those roaming charges, they add up fast. There have been real horror stories of passengers coming home to $800, even $1,000 phone bills because their device quietly connected in the background. No streaming movies, no long calls, just automatic data syncing, emails, and app updates running without them even realizing it. It gets even trickier in foreign ports. The second you step off the ship, your phone may latch onto an international tower, triggering more out-of-network fees. The fix is honestly simple: airplane mode the moment you board. Then, just manually connect to the ship's Wi-Fi if you purchase a package. But, money mistakes don't stop with your phone. Number 9. Not monitoring your onboard spending. On a cruise, you rarely pull out your wallet. Everything just goes on your room key card. Drinks, specialty dining, spa treatments, shore excursions, it's just tap and go, And that's exactly why spending can spiral without you even noticing. There's a kind of cruise card psychology at play here. Because you're not physically handing over cash, it doesn't really feel real in the moment. A $14 cocktail here, a $6 coffee there, maybe a photo package you didn't even plan on buying. Individually, they all seem pretty small, but together they can turn into hundreds of dollars by the end of the week. The smart move? Check your onboard account daily, either through the cruise app or at guest services. It's not about being paranoid. It's about catching mistakes early, like duplicate charges or incorrect items, while they're still easy to fix. Waiting until you're home makes everything a lot harder. But hey, money isn't the only thing people forget to protect. Number 8. Skipping travel insurance. Skipping travel insurance can feel like an easy way to save money. I mean, after all, you're healthy, right? The weather looks fine. What could really go wrong? But cruises come with unique risks that many travelers just don't think about. If you need medical care on board, you'll be treated, but you'll also be billed. Ship medical centers aren't covered the same way as your regular doctor back home. And in more serious situations, emergency transport from a ship can cost an eye-watering amount. Then there are canceled flights, missed connections, or unexpected delays that force you to change plans at the last minute. Travel insurance isn't about expecting disaster. It's about having a safety net. It protects your investment and your peace of mind. Most of the time, you won't need it. But when you do, you'll be really grateful it's there. Now, let's talk about what happens once you reach port. Number 7. Not researching ports in advance. Cruise ports can feel like scenes from a documentaire de voyage. Colorful streets, local music, markets, beaches, historic landmarks. But here's the problem. You only get a few hours in each destination. And if you step off the ship with no plan at all, that precious time just disappears fast. I've seen travelers wander around aimlessly, unsure where to go, only to realize later they missed a fete surprenant, a hidden waterfall, a famous viewpoint, or a cultural site everyone talks about afterward. Some ports offer once-in-a-lifetime experiences, and without basic research, you might spend the day in a generic tourist strip instead. You don't need a minute-by-minute schedule. Just know the highlights. Understand transportation options. Be aware of distances and timing. A little preparation turns a random stop into a meaningful memory, but planning too much can also backfire. Number 6. Booking excursions without thinking. Booking a shore excursion without really thinking it through can quietly drain both your budget and your experience. Cruise-sponsored tours definitely feel safe and easy. The ship guarantees you'll get back on time, and well, everything is organized for you. But honestly, convenience often comes with trade-offs. Many excursions move in large groups, so you end up following a guide with a numbered paddle, waiting for everyone to regroup at each stop. The pace might feel rushed in places you want to linger, or on the flip side, slow in spots you're not that interested in. And the price? It's usually higher than arranging something on your own. That said, independent exploring isn't perfect either. It requires research, awareness of transportation, and yeah, some careful time management. For some destinations, especially those complex or faraway sites, a cruise excursion makes total sense. The key is intention. Don't just click book because it's there. Match the experience to your travel style. And really, timing mistakes in port are even worse. Number 5. Losing track of time and missing the ship. Losing track of time in port is honestly one of the most painful cruise mistakes you can make. The beach is perfect, lunch runs long, and, it's just one more photo, one more shop, one more drink. And suddenly, you're cutting it close. Here's where people get tripped up. Ship time is not always the same as local time. Your phone might automatically switch to the island's clock, while the ship stays on its own schedule. That 1 hour difference can mean the gap between strolling back on board and, well, watching the ship pull away without you. Yes, it happens. More often than people think. If you miss all aboard time, the cruise line is not required to wait. You're responsible for catching up at the next port, which can mean expensive flights, hotels, and honestly, a seriously stressful situation. Always aim to return at least an hour early. Give yourself buffer time. And sometimes, the problem isn't the schedule, it's expectations. Number 4. Getting angry over itinerary changes. Getting angry over itinerary changes can quietly ruin your cruise faster than the change itself. You booked this trip for a specific island, a specific beach, a specific bucket list moment. Then the captain announces the port is canceled due to weather, safety concerns, or port restrictions. Instantly, disappointment kicks in. But here's the reality. Cruise lines don't change itineraries for fun. They do it for passenger safety. Rough seas, storms, dock congestion, even political unrest can force adjustments. The ship's priority is getting everyone home safely, not sticking to a brochure. The difference between a ruined trip and a great one often comes down to mindset. An unexpected sea day can mean shorter lines, spa discounts, or finally trying that specialty restaurant. A new port can turn into a fate surprenant you never planned for. Flexibility transforms frustration into opportunity. People issues can ruin a cruise even faster. Number 3. Being rude to crew members. Being rude to crew members is one of the quickest ways to sour your own vacation. Cruise staff work long contracts, often 7 days a week, serving thousands of guests with a smile. They handle early mornings, late nights, heavy trays, tight schedules, and constant requests. Yet most still greet you warmly every single day. Of course, mistakes can happen. A drink order gets mixed up. Dinner takes longer than expected. But snapping, yelling, or acting entitled doesn't fix the problem. It just creates tension. In my experience, kindness works far better. A calm conversation usually leads to a faster solution, and sometimes even better service moving forward. Remember, these crew members are far from home, working incredibly hard to make your trip special. A little patience and respect go a long way, and conflicts don't stop with crew. Mistake number 2. Arguing with other passengers. Arguing with other passengers might seem minor in the moment, but on a cruise ship, it can escalate fast. Maybe someone cuts in line. Maybe there's a debate over saving pool chairs. Maybe politics comes up at dinner after one too many drinks. Small disagreements can turn into loud confrontations before you even realize it. Here's the thing. You're not just passing strangers on the street. You're stuck together for days. The same elevators, the same buffet lines, the same shows. Tension doesn't disappear when you walk away, it lingers. And in extreme cases, security can step in. Cruise ships do have strict codes of conduct, and serious disruptions can lead to real consequences. Most of the time, it's simply not worth it. Let the chair go. Skip the debate. Protect your peace. And finally, the mistake people laugh about until it happens. Number 1. Packing everything the night before disembarkation. Packing everything the night before disembarkation seems efficient. You fold it all up, zip the suitcase, place it outside your cabin door, and feel productive. But here's the mistake: forgetting to leave out clothes for the next morning. It happens more than people admit. You wake up, your luggage is gone, and suddenly you realize the only thing left to wear is pajamas, or that wrinkled outfit you definitely didn't plan on being seen in public. Now you're walking off a cruise ship, through the terminal, possibly into an airport, dressed like you just rolled out of bed. Not exactly the grand finale you imagined. It's a small oversight, but it creates an awkward ending to an otherwise amazing trip. Keep a simple outfit, toiletries, and essentials in a separate bag for the morning. Future you will be grateful. Remember, a cruise doesn't fall apart all at once. It unravels one small mistake at a time. A cruise doesn't go wrong all at once. It goes wrong one small mistake at a time. A rushed flight, a missed detail, a decision that seemed harmless in the moment. The good news? Every single mistake on this list is avoidable. A little planning, a little awareness, and the right mindset can turn a stressful trip into an unforgettable one, for the right reasons. Now I'm curious, which mistake surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And if this helped you, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for smarter travel tips. Because the best cruises aren't perfect, they're prepared.